So let's get started. Hello guys. So let's just first talk about what's an ideal trading style according to everything I'm going to say from now on is just my own personal subjective opinion. So you guys should like you are allowed to question it, and you can point out something if you don't agree with something. So I'm okay with that. Uh, but what I'm going to say is like my personal views. So, what's an ideal trading style according to me? For me, it's the one which works and suits my personality and make best use of my strengths. So it says one line, but it says a lot. First, you should know what your personality is, and you should know what your strengths are, and you should know how to make best use of this. So it can only come with your timing in market. Like if you do not spend at least 1.5 year, you cannot know your personality in the markets. So at least I believe that at least you need 1.5 years to know what kind of trading personality you have. And and another like uh, 6 months to 1 year to know your strengths and weaknesses on top of that. And and you have to like journal regularly to know it. So so what's a good trading style? I'm talking about style here, I'm not talking about any strategy here. So strategy comes later. If you know your style, strategy is easy. So a good trading style is the one which identifies your weaknesses and try to make them your strengths. So uh, first, like I have said that you should know your personality and your strengths. But from my experience, relatively speaking, people don't have as many strengths, but they have a lot of weaknesses compared to strengths. So a more effective approach is to like identify, because weaknesses are like can arise very frequently and in many forms. So if you can just eliminate your weaknesses or and like make some changes in your style which can help you in certain market condition, that would be more beneficial in the long run. So this is like what I have done personally for my strategy. I have a lot of weaknesses, and I identified them and tried to adjust my trading strategy in a way that makes my weaknesses less weak, sort of say. And let's address the elephant in the room. Trading style should work in all markets. Like you cannot change your style easily. You can change your strategy if you have many of them. If you have a playbook, you can easily change your strategy, but you cannot change your style because it's your personality. It's what you do. It's very difficult to change your style. So it's better to form a style like that. Take into account that you are in the market for long run, not just for a particular period. Like markets can be very volatile in some period, very choppy, very slow in some certain markets. So uh, you should know your parameters should be in such a way that you can adjust them when the market changes, and that doesn't change your style. If you know, if you can get what I'm saying. You can stop me if you don't understand anything, but yeah. So So let's just talk about my personality and weaknesses in the market, hmm, so that you will get a better idea. So that how I formulated my strategy that will come in the end, and it won't take much time. Sitting in the market for like almost 2 years, I know that I'm fundamentally impatient. I know that sitting in front of screen, looking at the charts, especially lower time frames, uh, I see a lot of setups. It's my weakness, and I find it difficult to hold myself. back. It's difficult for me to like miss upon potential opportunities. E- and you'll know why. It is also my another weakness that uh, I struggle to distinguish like the relative worth of opportunity. It took me a lot of time to identify this one, but I found it that it's difficult for me to distinguish my A plus setup from, let's say, my B setup. We all have multiple setups, but I personally find it difficult to uh, distinguish between them in live markets, especially if I'm trading lower time frames, 1 minute, 15 seconds. So the time to think is relatively less. Uh, so I consider it my weakness. So I need to tackle these two. And another thing is, this is my part of my personality. I prefer when markets move fast. Like I personally like it. I feel much more confident when markets are confident. Also, there is a lot of volume, and like in general, volatility excites me, and I know like I read the market better when market moves fast. Slow markets generally I uh, overthink and make dumb trades. So this is the key points of my personality and weaknesses that I have identified till now in my market. So I haven't talked about any particular setup or strategy here. It's just how I operate in the market. So it is part of how you fundamentally are. So what is my strength? Strength is, as I said, there are not many strengths and there are lots of weakness. So I don't have much strength. I only have this one, which I am slightly confident in. That I am slightly good at reading immediate or short-term price action and order flow. So what I mean by that is like markets are moving. If markets are moving fast, there is a lot of volume, and let's say I'm trading on 15-second or 1 minute time frame. So I can like I'm good at predicting whether like the move is going to extend to the next level if the price is in a trend, or I'm good at sensing when price is going to reverse from a certain level. So this is like part of my intuition. So uh, the screen time I have has made me like particularly strong in this uh, aspect. So I only consider this my only strength in the market, and I have these weaknesses. So now let's talk about how. So you see that I have only one strength, which cannot work in every market. Like as you can see that I only trade short-term market, and my personality wants fast markets. So I have to like uh, harness my style in such a way that uh, turn my weaknesses into strength. So for my impatience, what I do is I limit my exposure. I only trade in my main account for like 30 to 45 minutes per day. I'm, I don't like to sit for hours and like trade for the whole day. I have done it in the past and it doesn't work for me. I know it only harms me in the long run because I take a lot of trades. Uh, so uh, limiting my time is the only way I can convert that weakness, remove that weakness from my trading. So for impatience, I only need good 30 45 minutes of trading time in which I place my trades. So that is enough. Uh, I'm satisfied in those short time periods. For volatile market preference, what a better time to trade than the open itself. as I've said that I like fast markets. Markets are, no matter what the market condition is, 90% of the time, we all know that markets are generally fast in the first hour. That is the opening. So there is a lot of volume, there is a lot of liquidity. Markets, the moves are extended. When market starts to roll, it goes easily goes like 20, 30 points in the NQ. So so
I have a quick
it
question about this.
yeah.
On days where there's news at like 9:45 or 10, do you then prefer to wait till like after the news releases because then we get a surge of volatility and volume?
Yeah, I have personally found that when on the days that where there is a news, whatever I do doesn't work. Like it's too chaotic. Price action does not work. It's like there is a lot of activity, so I usually avoid trading any news. At least like I wait that the news has settled. So like I have tried trading the news because newses are way volatile than the open, but I cannot identify any edge yet. Like I haven't formed any edge which can like allow me to trade any kinds of news.
No, I guess what I was saying is like, for instance, I know you like to trade like really like right at the opening bell a lot of times, but
Hmm.
if there's, for instance, a news release that's going to happen at
Hmm.
9:45, do you
Hmm. Hmm.
still trade the opening bell or do you wait for like maybe 9:50 or 9:55, like the news is out and there's more volume in the market and
Yeah,
then kind of
if the
delay
news
your
is
start time?
if the news is right at the open, let's say in the first 15 minutes or at the open itself, I usually wait till after 10 to 15 minutes after the news has ended. Uh,
Okay,
or if
thank
the
you.
news is, let's say, around 1 to 2.5 hours like later in the day, then it doesn't change anything for me. Like, because the opening volatility is still there. If the like news is in the first hour itself, I usually avoid trading my main account. If that is that clear?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, this is I'm talking about converting my weaknesses into strength. So like I said, I am impatient. So the only way to eliminate is to limit my exposure. Uh, so uh, I want fast, volatile markets, but I also want a market which I can read. So I found that from my experience that I can trade the open. Usually after the first 5 minutes, I don't like to get involved in the first 5 minutes. Uh, because there are lots of overnight orders and things are usually pretty chaotic in the first 5 minutes. So, but yeah, but it is not a hard rule. I sometimes place a trade in the first 2 or 3 minutes after the open also. So, but yeah, I like to trade volatile openings. Then another weakness of mine is that I cannot distinguish the quality of my setup. So I have like I have sort of customized my trading style in a way that manages a balance between my win rate and risk reward. I'll show you what I'm talking about in my stats. That like I cannot distinguish, so I try to like stay almost 50-55% win rate wise and risk reward wise. I want 1.5 to 2 hour. So this is how I have like I don't let my setup decide my win rate and risk reward. Rather, I trade based on these conditions. When I feel that I have a good chance to like succeed in a particular trade, uh, so it automatically goes like more than 50% for me. It's more discretionary, you can say. And risk reward is like always predetermined. Like whenever I enter a trade, I see whether like there is a potential of 2 hour on the trade or not. If there is not, I don't take the trade. So if you know, like, I hope I can like convey it in some sense, because like I have tried many different strategies and I found that uh, in the end, like the parameters automatically like shifts when market changes its nature. So my whole strategy right now is to adjust myself according to the market. I'll talk about it now. So based on whatever I've said, like based on this trading style, this is my style. Whatever I have talked till now, I'm I have formulated my strategy based on my style. So this is the only slide. This is the last slides, and you guys don't have to see any boring stuff after this. This is the last slide. Trade. This is part of my strategy. Trade the opening hour, draw and adjust levels on hourly. Why hourly for me? Because markets are fast, markets are extended. It's easy to like markets generally respects levels on hourly in the opening 1.5 hour. Like you don't have to worry much about smaller time frame levels like 15 minutes, 5 minutes. Those do tend to break easily in the first hour. So I usually only focus on hourly levels because they tend to respect pretty well. There is some reaction. I do agree that there is some reaction on lower time frame levels, but they usually don't influence the trend in my experience. So I draw the levels on all time frame, but yeah, my main like important levels are hourly levels. um, have something to account for volatility. Like this is I'm talking about my strategy here. So we have to like now I have to get technical. So so what I said that a good style is one that accounts for all kind of markets. So what defines market for me is its volatility. So a fast market and for volatility like I customize the ATR indicator. You guys can see it. Can you guys see it? See my chart?
Yes.
Yeah. So as you can see, let me zoom in. Ah. As you can see, my ATR looks slightly different. I have two ATR on the same pane. One is 7 period ATR. This is this blue line, and another is this single period ATR. This is the like width of the bar itself. Um, so you can see how I gauge the volatility of the market. You guys, it's really helpful. You guys can like implement it in your trading also. That 7 period ATR is good to tell that how the market is like performing in general. Like you need some data. So like is the volatility continuous volatility, or are there any like spikes in the market? So what I mean by this is like as you can see, currently the 7 period ATR is at 14.92 and the current candle ATR is 17.25. So from this histogram, from the distance and uh, from this blue line and the histogram, you can uh, gauge whether market is choppy. Like what I'm going to say is that let's say uh, 7 period ATR is at around 10 for your particular time frame, and this 1 period ATR is fluctuating a lot. Like it is sometimes 25 and sometimes 30 and sometimes 2 3 4. So this is the kind of market which I defined as like choppy and unpredictable. I need some kind of consistency in the market, that whatever is happening on instantaneous basis, it's better that the average follows it. So it's much easier to enter into position when there is not much fluctuations between these two ATRs. So what I want is that this blue line is relatively flat, and this histogram remains relatively near this blue line. If this is the first benefit of this ATR setting. Another major benefit of this ATR is I can adjust my size for any type of market condition. What I mean to say is, let's say I trade the open, I trade on 15-second time frame, and so let me switch to that my 15-second time frame chart. Yeah. So I have two screens, so like I put this chart on one screen and this 15-second chart on another, so I can like look at all the information I need to trade. So as you can see, I have put a line on 7.97 on this ATR setting. So what I want is why I have put this line is I know my size when the ATR is near these levels. Can you guys understand like what I mean? Like when the average and instantaneous volatility of market uh, hovers around this level, uh, I know my ideal size is 5 micros in MNQ. So this is from my like risk parameters. Like I want to risk 100 and 120, like around 100 to 120 per trade, and I target around 160 to 200 as a reward per trade. So when the ATR hovers near this level, I know that that size is in such way that I can follow my risk parameters. Uh, does that make any sense to you guys? Or should I?
Yes, I do the same thing. I use ATR
Yeah.
to adjust my size so that
Hmm.
risk is consistent.
Yeah. So what sometimes happens is that market is like too volatile. Like it's not like uncommon these days to find that market is like average and instant, both average and instantaneous ATR is hovering around 20-25 in the 15-second time frame itself. So when you are talking about let's say 24 ATR, so it's literally three times the value which is required for my 5 micro size. So I what it means is that I need to reduce my size by 3 times if I'm trading like let's say 6 micros at this ATR level. So I if the ATR is 25, 26, I need to like uh, go shift to 2 micros if I want to have a consistent uh, risk and reward parameters, which is very important in my opinion. Like that you keep your risk parameters fairly constant. Uh, Market is going to open fairly soon. Let me go over it fastly. So it makes sense. Like if the ATR is around 4, I can maybe increase 1 or 2 micros. Like I can do 7. So the purpose of this ATR thing is that I know like to know that what kind of market there is in front of me and what should be my size in this market. So these are the two purpose of my ATR settings. So this is for the account of volatility. Have something to account for trend. So I have set up. I only use only this one thing, 7 SMA, simple moving average. Uh, it's it's a pretty good tool to like change your view on this shorter time frames, especially when you are trading open. Like for example, you see that you can if you enter like around here, you can easily put your SL above here, and you can easily get 2 hour here. So this is a safe spot to like change your view that trend in the shortest time frame you're trading is uh, like slightly changed, you can say. It doesn't mean that you have to take uh, the trades in that direction, but you should avoid like going long below this line. That's what I'm saying. If you are let's say on the 15 minutes and 5 minutes that, and even in 1 minute the trend is up. So then when the price is below this line, I usually avoid taking, like, let's say longs. I want that price establish slightly over this SMA, and that's all I use for that trend following system. I usually keep my system very simple. So I've tried very complicated stuff in the past, so it doesn't work for me. Huh. I was already said this, that know your max risk per trade. Uh, Try to keep it constant by adjusting size as per volatility. And this is also a necessary condition for me for my strategy, that I want to see uh, that I'm getting 1.5 to 2 hour. It doesn't matter whether I get it or not, but yeah, at least it should uh, be viable for me. Yeah, this is the most important thing. You should know before taking any trades that how much you are going to lose max per day. This is the most important thing. And just my strategy is simple price action. I don't, like, I just try to have a feel of the market. I will try to dictate. I'll in a couple of minutes when the market opens. Let's see if we get some volatility. There is
I know the
holiday today,
market
so
is
hmm,
about to open right now, but maybe
yeah,
maybe a little bit after
yeah,
you can also show us like how you plot your hourly levels. That might be helpful
yeah,
too, but you
yeah,
can do
yeah,
that maybe after you trade.
yeah, sure. So, so let's just get a general set. Let's form a bias here. Uh, as you can see, this is my 15-minute chart, and this is also my, yeah. This is the chart I use in one screen. Uh, you can see that on one side there is 1 hour, and on the other side there is 1 minute. We can see that market was like markets is in an inside range. You can see that these are the extremes on the 1 hour. The market has been hovering in between. So on hourly there is no trend for me as per se. As you can see, this is a very important level, and we have just taken the liquidity uh, of all these rejections up here. So uh, if we get a close about this, it's a good. There is a good chance that we can see this next important hourly level. Uh, you can see hourly levels are based primarily on the rejection. These weeks are a very good sign that this, to like draw your hourly levels. Uh, so so for now, uh, I'm not long bias, and I'm also not short bias. Like on the shorter time frame, I'll consider getting long if the price goes above this, at least this week, just so that I know that there is some continuation uh, in the market. So let's try to see on the 15-second what is happening. Uh, we can see that the volatility is like very low. The 7 period ATR is 3 individual, and it's relatively stable. So market is not as well volatile as it usually is at the open, because of the holiday today. Let me just shift to my practice and try to see if there is any opportunity. But yeah, on the 15-second, here is a level. So like uh, if we get a break of on 15-second, how can we trade this? If we get a break of this zone and there is some volume, supporting it, we can just simply go long right here at this point, and we can target this line, and our SL will be just right this point. So you can, I'm just giving an example. This is not an let's say let's say we would have gotten this break to the upside. So this would be my like potential setup. Usually, why I take these simple setups is there is a lot of like heavy volume at the open. You guys all know this. You also trade the open, and even if market doesn't want to like establish a trend in the direction, the like momentum is so large that we can like 20-30 points is nothing for this kind of market. So as you can see, that's the target is only 13 points on this one. So even if you are not sure about getting longs, you can count on the market if the volatility and volume is supporting it, that to make a reversal, it's going to take some like slippage. Uh, you can say like, imagine for example a heavy truck. It takes a lot of force to stop a truck. Uh, if you uh, does this make any sense to you? Like usually, I don't
Yes.
think the market is what I want to show you guys. It's completely dead right now, so it will be difficult to demonstrate the actual. Uh, what we do is let's demonstrate it tomorrow, and let me talk the general stuff like how I set up, draw my levels, and all these things. Is it okay? Like I don't think the volatility and volume, there is nothing in the market right now.
Yeah, we can
Yeah.
come back tomorrow. Let me just check because I feel like I don't think there's news today, but let me just make sure there's nothing coming out at like 9:45 or something that would be
Yeah,
worth waiting
no,
for.
yeah, if there is no news, it shows on my chart itself. Like you can see this symbol, so it shows on the chart when there is news.
Yeah,
So
there's nothing
there's,
today.
yeah. Hmm.
I had a feeling it was going to be tough this morning just because of Labor Day in the US is such a big holiday. So you only
Yeah,
got
it's good.
maybe
Like
some remnants of
it's
London
okay.
trading,
We
but
can we can do it tomorrow. Like I have no problem with it. And like, I can talk more about how I take trades so that you guys can easily follow when I take actual trades in the fast market. This is not the market you want to see, and I want to trade.
no,
This is not the market. Yeah.
for tomorrow
So,
we have
hmm,
at 9:45 a.m. New York time, we
hmm.
have PMI, and then at 10 a.m. we have ISM manufacturing PMI. Do you want to wait till after those news releases or do you still want to do it at 9:30?
Yeah, we will do it at 9:30. I won't trade my like. I've started a new domain, as I said previously, that in the August volatility, I blew up my account after taking a payout. So there was not enough space, and I couldn't adjust myself for that increased volatility. That's when I added this histogram thing in my ATR. It came after that. Like I realized that I was not prepared to handle when market changes its volatility. So the whole thought process behind making this thing was in the previous month itself. And it is the like for I can say for me on my chart, this ATR thing is the most important tool for me right now. Uh, because like you can see that I know from the ATR itself that I cannot take any trade in this market. This you can see that uh, the the kind of volatility I want the ATR wise is right now is at 3 minute time frame. So I want these numbers in 15 seconds. If you know, like you can easily gauge your market when you know the kind of numbers associated with them.
Yep,
Does
exactly.
this make any sense? Yeah.
Yeah, I actually have a note
So,
card right in front of my screen that
hmm,
has ATR values, and then
hmm,
have I have my bracket set up so I know like if ATR is between a certain range, like I know what my bracket is, and next range
yeah,
up what my bracket is. But if it's below a certain range, I don't even have a bracket
yeah,
set up because it's like I'm just not going to trade if it's too low.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I was talking about like adjusting your size as per like this ATR thing, the volatility you need. So one more thing I want to clarify is like I don't want to trade below a certain ATR. Like for for me that is like below six, or let's say yeah 6 in the 15 second. So for my particular trading style, like I at least want like these ATR levels to be around at least like at the minimum I want it to be around 6.5 to consider taking any trades. Like generally the nature of market itself changes when market traded trades below these uh, numbers for me. Like I can only read the price action in certain ranges.
Yeah, I feel like
Yeah.
when it's too low, you get a lot of false signals.
Yeah, yeah. Um, as you can see, like the market is completely flat now. So there's nothing you can predict. Like there is no volume, uh, and you cannot trust like anything right now. Uh, Personally, like you should have confidence in the kind of market you thrive, and identifying like your market is like I believe is the most important thing in order to succeed in this kind of space. Like simply note trading is 99% more beneficial than trading something you don't know.
Wasn't it a famous
Hmm.
Jesse
Hmm.
Livermore quote where he says the money
Yeah, yeah,
comes in the waiting, not the trading?
yeah. So, so at least like for me, I cannot. I'm like I couldn't identify these things until very recently. Like the kind of markets I want. This is a very like you can say this is a breakthrough for me. Like my trading has improved a lot since I've started trading only my like kind of market. If it makes any sense for you. So like I know that when market hovers around this line, this is the line which gives me the best result. Like I usually get plenty of 1:3 risk reward setup around when market is very close to this level, and like it's the most healthy kind of market for me. When volatility increases, it generally like comes at a. I don't have any problem trading that, but it generally comes at the cost of like increasing this sudden burst of ATRs like on the 1 bar setting. So market cannot continuously sustain like 25 to 30 ATR like on a 15-second chart. It cannot like the market will fall for like 1,000 points in like 5-10 minutes if that happens. So that usually comes
So
at the cost of like
it
hmm, hello, you were
was
saying
kind
anything?
of interesting that your ideal AR is around that 8 point area because I find a lot of
Hmm,
times the NASDAQ during the open has
hmm.
like 10 to 12 point ATRs very regularly during the
Yeah. So like 10 to 12 is pretty normal for me. Like I just reduce my size from 5 to 4 or 3. Like I don't find any problem trading till 14 ATR. Generally from my experience, like I can handle like the double of my ideal ATR. But after 14 things usually like you have to be very precise with your entries. Like when the ATR goes beyond 14 and above, like you have to focus more on getting at the right place, or
Yeah,
you'll
especially
like
I find when the ATRs are that big, I have to be very mindful of where is my
yeah,
profit target and do I
yeah,
feel like we've talked about that before during the live sessions, like It's not just that my stop is big, it's that to get the risk reward, am I
Yeah.
confident enough that the market's going to go far enough to get to
Hmm.
that profit target when the ATRs are that big? That's always my big thing when it
Yeah.
gets too much.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. That's very important to know. Like people like tend to pay most of their attention on what pattern they are going to trade. Like they don't consider because these are just drawings. If you consider, like you can just easily change the scale by doing this. Like uh, this the thing in front of me is only a like cartoon sort of sort. So you have to know like, and it easily changes. Like some for like for now you can consider market very volatile. If I draw that, like make the chart this big, you can say that market is very volatile right now. So like it kind of messes with our perception of the actual volatility of the market. So it's better to have like something external to the this like chart drawing, and to rely on numbers. Numbers don't rely. Like you can form reliable statistics only if you like uh, deal with numbers, not drawings or like these kind of things. So you see what I was like talking about. Uh, we don't want this kind of situation where like the average thing is average ATR is very low and suddenly the volatility like rises for a couple of candles, and like then it it's more it most probably is going to fall again. So so it's better to avoid the market you know that doesn't work for you. Let's just that is something that I have this level, it worked pretty well. And the scenario I was telling about, that the long scenario, it doesn't play out here, but it did play pretty well here. You can see that it was the perfect entry. Like I just want it to be. I would just want to enter in this position when market is near these ATR levels, 7 to 8 or and above. Because like I'm not so confident when like let's say enter at this candle, let's say around these levels. So this is a pretty good like example that breakout. There was some increase volume. The retest was pretty strong. So you could have easily form a good risk reward opportunity. But this is not the right market to act upon this opportunity. I should clarify this. This is a
Now,
good
quick question.
opportunity in the right market.
So,
Hmm.
obviously, like in this variation of the setup, let's just pretend that the ATRs were where you wanted and it looked like this,
Yeah.
where you're taking it as the retest then of that level. So obviously, in this context, you're putting your
Hmm.
stop loss higher than where you showed it before because it was a retest and then bounce. So you're just putting it under that swing versus
Yeah.
underneath that like pink magenta
Yeah. Yeah.
zone.
Yeah. But I
So so
generally like yeah, complete. Keep talking.
So normally, like,
Sorry
would
for.
you normally enter just then on the breakout candle, or do you like to wait for this kind of retest?
Um, I also enter on breakout itself. Like for example, let's for example's sake, let's suppose
Like
this zone
that
was not
candle
here.
right at
Yeah,
like 910 kind of broke out that first larger
uh,
green candle that broke above.
this
No,
one.
no, further to the right, like not, yeah, right
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
Would you
yeah.
normally
No,
enter
no,
like
no, no.
there?
I for this particular scenario, I won't ever enter on this. For double bottom kind of setups, I usually enter around here on the third candle itself.
Okay, so even though it's underneath that magenta level, um,
No, 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 no. This third candle is above this that. Okay, okay. You're talking about this. Yeah.
yeah, because there's like
No.
kind of like the setup that
Yeah.
you talked about before the open about like if the market breaks above that pink
Yeah.
area that you would go long with the stop under the pink area and targeting that 19645. So if that played out with the ATRs you like, would you normally take it as the market's breaking above that pink area, or do you like to wait for like a break and retest like it showed up here?
If the setup is exactly like this, I will wait for the retest, because I cannot get any good value of like stop placement here. I generally don't like uh, going like continuously rising or falling markets. I usually like I'm like only comfortable when at least there is some reference to under which I can place my stop.
That makes sense.
So
And do you normally enter with a market order or like a limit? Like how do you normally set your execution?
like the market is not showing itself here, but the we all know that market is really fast. Like things are happening very fast. So I like to enter with market, but I have my hotkey set up. Like I'm like I have a lot of practice now. Earlier I there was not hotkeys, but I have like now they have implemented these hotkeys, and like, I only enter with market orders, and I have my bracket set up. Uh, like I can, this is a practice, so I can just open a trade and show you how they get into a trade. So let's just remove it. For a, let's just say I want to enter a short. So I just press a, my hotkeys are really at a very convenient place. So it's like uh, I've set up on like WASD keys. So I do play games, so I'm really fast on them. So yeah, I generally only enter market orders. For me, it is working till now. Like I'm generally very slow when I'm dealing with like limit orders. I have to like, because I don't have any particular location in mind. That's why I don't use limit orders. The market itself tells me that it's a good time to enter.
Gotcha. And you don't have issues with slippage generally when you're entering then?
Yeah. That's why I like the open. Like there is the volume is like so great, so I generally don't face any slippage issue as far as I'm like fast enough, if you know what I mean. Because like if
Yeah.
you are slow and like the candle is forming really fast, then you should avoid like entering on that candle itself, because the candle is moving itself. So the period in which like you press the button and it registers and like goes to the like exchange and stuff, it will have some slippage. So you should be
Yeah.
mindful that yeah, at least. So I generally prefer. That's why the entries in these kind of areas are best for me. You do you like you can easily understand that, like let's say I want to enter on this candle. This candle can easily be like from here to here. So I cannot know it, like it is already forming with a strong like with a good volume and like volatility. So I usually don't risk it, and it's generally not a good risk reward setup for me, as per se.
That makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah. So market is not like going to give anything today. Let's just talk about my stats here. So as I said that I took a break in August. I didn't trade for 3 weeks at least. So I started again like uh, in the last week. So this is the stats of my last week. You can see that these uh, all I traded for 5 days, and I was profitable in every one of them. You can see that in my practice account, I trade my practice apart from my combined. So the trades are different. So there is some kind, like you can say that the stats are not like coinciding with each other. They are both separate cases, and like I slightly try different variation in my practice account to like improve my uh, main account strategy. If that makes any sense. As you can see, that win percent in my practice account is like 49, around 50%, and like but I maintained a healthy risk reward uh, of 2 in this account, and you can see that the profit factor is also almost 2. So that's what I mean
Nice.
when, yeah, that's what I meant when I like showed it in the slide, that I try to adjust my like strategy according to the parameters I want. Like I trade, I like usually try to only take 2 hours uh, on this practice account. That's why it is 2, if that makes any sense. Like I see that in the open, in the market, when I like to trade, this stat will work out or not. Does is it making any sense to you?
Yeah, yeah. That's a really healthy profit factor too. It's a nice number.
Yeah, yeah. So what I'm saying is that let's say taking a breakout trade. Let's say I I'm taking the trade here itself when this green candle is forming. So my risk is just below this candle, and my reward is till this blue candle. So I'm like forcing myself and allowing the market to like to go till there. Like I know that the ATR levels are what I wanted. Uh, Like no, let's consider an example where let's say the ATR is where I like it to be, around 8 9. This is the ATR level, and here, and we see a like breakout and retest, and I want my parameter to shift more towards 2R, and and I want to see the effect, see its effect on my win rate. Is it making any sense? Like
Yep.
that yeah, I'm going to take these kinds of opportunities. You can see that it's exactly 2R in this case. So my stop is 6 points, and like my target is 12 points. So you can see that I'm like I won't exit the trade until it at least like give me 2R. And over a long, I try to collect statistics to see whether this particular market condition supports these parameters for me.
What
Uh,
about what about trade management? Like, do you trail your stops or go break even at
yeah,
a
yeah,
certain point?
I trail really aggressively, but but I only trail with like small swings. Let's say for example, let's say uh, I entered here. Let's say I entered here on this candle. This is for example, like I want to show that when I am going to trail this, like how I am going to trail this entry. Uh, this is this I like to take these kind of entry. First of all, like you can see that market is in a trend, uh, and like right at the open, we these kinds of entries are really common, like, and they generally works really well, these kinds of double bottom setups, and also the one which in which the second leg is slightly lower than the first one. So I generally enter when there are like strong upside moves like this one, and there is some volume supporting it. In this market, there is no volume, but yeah, generally in the market I am talking about, there is a considerable volume around this region. So, so I usually enter it here. My stop will be like this, or like this. Like when the market is fast, I am pretty confident. Like in my entry, I try to squeeze as much risk reward as possible. No, so so when the market is showing willingness to go upwards, there is momentum, there is volume, so it's like pretty unlikely that it is going to reverse. And if it reverse, it is very likely that it's going to like roll further down. That is from my experience. Like at the open, if you are entering at these kinds of places where there is this double bottom kind of thing is forming, and there is strong rejection, and there is volume supporting it, So either it's going to like I have noticed it hundreds of times. Either it's going to go directly up, or it's going to like completely roll down further. Like it's not going to the scenario where like I enter here and market comes and take my SL and stops here and then goes up. That doesn't happen usually. Like it's pretty rare for me. Mm, You know, like so. Let's say I enter here. So market starts moving. I generally have two targets on my entries. First is around first target is around 1.5 to 2 hour, and second target I try to take more than like 3 hour. Second target. So for I'm like as you can see, I'm entering pretty early in this bottom kind of setup. So my uh, it's a good enough estimate that I have this level here, and this is the like previous inflection point. So market is pretty likely to like slow down near this region. Like it's very likely to slow down near this region. It doesn't mean that it's going to stop there, but yeah, we will see some kind of reaction around this area. Uh, Purely like based upon the price action, and that's how market behaves. So we can like count on it. We can at least count on the market to do its thing. So we know that we will at least get some reaction around this area. So we can set our first target uh, around this zone itself. So you can see that I am getting for this, let's say this is my stop, this is my entry. So I'm still getting like 1.6 hour around this area. So it's a viable entry for me. Do you get it? Like if this if the first target is not providing me this 1.5 hour opportunity, I won't take it. So now about trailing, I won't trail like until at least 3 or 4 candles like go in my direction. Let's say like I will probably trail my SL to break even when this candle closes. This candle closes. Like I don't like to trail my SL until at least I get my first target generally. Uh, so after this, I let's say I'm in with 5 micros. I will take 2 or 3 out here at this level, and then I'll trade aggressively. Then when market breaks above this, like this, I I'm pretty sure that I will trade it till here at this zone. So so if it takes me out, it takes me out. But yeah, this is not an exit zone. Like this can be, but there is nothing here like aside from this bricks. So I won't consider this my. But yeah, it will give me 3 hours, so I can like maybe take one more out here, and then after this candle, I will trail. So trailing is pretty standard. Like most of us trail position like this, but I try to be pretty conservative in the beginning, in the first target. Usually, what happens is like I have seen you do it, BPM, that you trail very aggressively in the beginning of the trade itself. Uh, like, I have like observed, try to say that like let's just say that from observing you, I have noticed this thing that trailing aggressively in the beginning of the trade itself doesn't help very much in the long run. Like
I would
it's
agree with that.
it's
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, like, and it is like from my experience, it is working for me that at the beginning, like we should let at least like some space for our trade to like breathing space. There should be some breathing space in a trade.
I think I tend to get overly aggressive, especially
Yeah,
after I've had a losing streak. I tend
yeah,
to get really tight about my management, which is more of a psychological thing than it actually is from
yeah.
basing it on the
So
numbers. You know what I mean?
yeah, so that should come in your weakness, like the way I have identified my weaknesses and my psychology. Like these are the kind of thing that goes there, like in that statement that I'm like pretty aggressive about my stops when like I have a couple of losers. So you can like take steps in advance to prevent that, because like we are just trying to form a reliable statistics here, like on a trade per trade basis. Trading is like without a doubt gambling. There is no doubt about it. Like trading on a per trade basis is no different than gambling. But the thing that separates trading from gambling is that we can sort of customize the odds, like comparing it to a casino or like coin flip. We cannot control the odds there. The odds are set up by the house itself. So you can never like win against the house. Like the house has set up the odds, like, you cannot bypass them. But in trading, depending on how you like perceive and how you operate in the market, you can easily uh, not easily, but yeah, you can realistically make the odds in your favor. That's for sure. So we should always keep in mind that uh, on a per trade basis, that this trade I am taking is like doesn't represent my whole trading. Like, if is this making any sense for you? Like,
Yep. Yeah, we can. Because I have to run actually in a second too. But we can set up another meeting when I get home today. I'll set up another Zoom meeting
hmm,
for tomorrow.
yeah,
Do you want to start? Like, what time do you want to start the meeting?
let's just start 10 minutes before the open. I'll just draw fresh levels and just trade.
Okay, yeah, we'll do it. I'll set the meeting to start at 9:20. I'll probably jump on around
Yeah,
9:15.
yeah. So yeah, yeah. Let's keep it till here. I will talk more about the psychology part tomorrow.
Perfect, man.
Yeah,
Appreciate your time. Appreciate the effort you put into the slideshow too. Thank you.
no, I was just like sitting half an hour before like this thing is going to start. Like, so I was like sort of panicking when like what am I going to say and that sort of stuff. This is the first time I'm doing any sort of presentation related to trading. So sorry guys, like if I didn't come across clearly. But yeah, I tried my best. You can,
Yeah, it was great, very informative, and I look forward to kind of watching you in action tomorrow. And it's tough. It's tough sometimes when you have an audience, so we're not gonna be judging you. It's just kind of want to the others kind of see your thinking and how you're executing and stuff like that.
yeah. Yeah, for example, like let's see, like you can see that like in 15 seconds it's pretty trendy now. So like I like to enter in these kinds of areas. Like this is like very healthy kind of trades for me. These are like when the price is strong and moving in a particular direction, and I get these kind of places. These are the areas I usually exploit, like micro double tops and bottoms, mm, sort of. So like you can just enter here, put your stop here, easily get 1.5 and 2. This is like particularly true for the open itself. Like the thing I was saying, that it's pretty hard to stop a heavy loaded truck. Like it's going to like the braking distance is going to be much further than let's say sedan. So the market at the open is like that
Yeah,
truck.
that sounds.
Hmm. So even if it doesn't want to like go uh, in the lower levels, but we can still be pretty confident that like at least we will get 1.5 hour if this thing has happened. That's what I'm saying. So this is why I like trading the openings so much, and let's just go over the statistics one also. So yeah, you can see that I also analyze through my trading hold times. It is better on the other account. Yeah. So you can see that under 15 second, like my win rate is 15%. So it usually means that what I learned from this is uh, I was very impatient with the entry. Market generally moves very fast, so it is pretty likely that in these kinds of entries, I didn't wait for the candle to close, and I was thinking that the candle is forming in a particular uh, color, let's say, and entered before it like closed, and like right after I enter it, just these are the kinds of trade where I get stopped out under 15 seconds. So
So
and
you
like
normally wait
fif-
for candle closes 15 second for your entries.
yeah, I the whole strategy part is executed on the 15-second itself. I like to predict larger time frame reversals on 1 hour and these kind of things, like but 1 hour and 15 minutes. But you can see I, as I talked at
Saying
the
like
beginning,
that
hmm,
you like to wait for a candle to close on 15 seconds. You don't like to enter like while the candle is still forming. You look for a candle to close and then you enter.
I wait for the candle to close on 15 second itself. Like if I am entering here, so I want this candle to close. Like then I will put my SL here. Like for I only use 1 hour to see that which are the areas that actually like have important. That like at the beginning I said that this is a pretty important hourly level, so we can see it play out pretty well here. That the market took the liquidity at the open and like sort of just going in the opposite direction. It, and fib levels also work really great on this hourly levels. Like you can even if that there is a trend on 1 hour or 15 minutes, you can be pretty confident that as these kinds of important levels when market do this kind of thing, sort of makes a wick and reverses, that's when these fib levels are reliable, especially if they are also coinciding with some other zone. For example, I have this level pre-drawn and the fib is zero point 0.5 and zero point 0.6 level also is right there. So I'm pretty confident that slowly but surely, like it's going to come till here. So that adds to my decision making in on the 15 second itself.
Sorry,
Like
my internet cut out right after I asked that question, but just to clarify, you said you
Mhm.
do generally on your entries, you like to wait for the candle to close on the 15 second, and then you take your entry basically once that candle.
Your voice is stopped. I cannot hear you.
Okay, sorry, can you hear me now?
Yeah. Can you
Okay,
repeat again?
sorry. Yeah,
Yeah.
my internet's getting a little bit weird. I dropped out of the meeting for a second there. So you said on the 15 second when you're taking your entries, you always wait
Yeah.
for the candle to close and then you hit the market when the candle closes.
Huh. Yeah.
And so if the
Yeah.
candle ended up being a very large candle, you would just skip that entry because it would mess
Yeah.
with the risk
Yeah.
reward
Yeah.
too much.
For example, let's say I'm waiting to enter above this zone. Like, but yeah, if I encounter this kind of candle, I'll hold back for a better opportunity. This is for example. This is not the entry I
Yeah.
will form, but yeah.
Yeah. So that would be just an
Hmm.
example where that candle just was way bigger than the norm, so you would just skip
Yeah,
that trade.
yeah,
So you really want your entry candle to be around the ATR size,
yeah.
and you
You got
wait
it.
for it to close. Because sometimes that's what happens to me. I get FOMO, so
Hmm.
I enter while the candle's forming because I'm afraid that it might end up surging, and then I miss out on the trade because the candle closed and it was way too big. So I enter mid candle, and then, like you said, all of a sudden the candle flips the other direction before it
Yeah,
closes, and you get stopped out. Same
it
thing happens.
happens. It happens pretty often to me also. Like, because markets are generally fast. I have like it's difficult to control everything. Like, a lot of things goes in the mind. So like yeah, I generally try to like uh, keep in mind that I'm not entering at huge candles. Generally, the risk reward doesn't work out well for me in that case, because I have to like entering in on these types of candles, they are very likely to get retraced. Like these kinds of candles are very inefficient, and like market generally when breaking out some significant level, price tends to return to these levels again. So it's better to hold back and re-end
So would you
because
ever, like, after a big candle like that closes, would you ever then set a limit, like kind of back a little bit, if it just in case it does quickly retrace and give you that fill, or at that point you
I
just
can
totally skip
I
the
can
trade?
I can just enter a market. Let's say this candle forms, and let's say I wanted to like enter at the like break and retest of this level, and this candle form, and let me get something to draw here. Yeah. So let's say I wanted to enter at the break and retest of this level, but this kind of candle is forming. So, so first of all, it's like I want to wait till it closes. But if it like if it's such a huge candle in the volatility I'm saying I want, so like it generally, let's say I'm trading in at around 8 to 10 ATR, and suddenly this huge candle like form. So it is around like 20, 25, 30 points, the single candle. So there is no way like I can have a like 20 to 30 point SL. I can have 20 point SL, but yeah, like I don't want to have a 30 point SL. So this ATR thing also helps me to like sort of hold me back on my entries. Like, because like you said that I want to enter on the candles which are near my preferred ATR levels.
Okay,
So let's
thank
say
you.
like yeah, the candle goes like this, and then let's say it immediately reverses, and then I can consider getting long here if it also if it against rejects from here, but I need a like closing uh, around this area.
So when
Then
it's then
I
pulling
yeah,
back and you're going to wait for see if it rejects from there, do you also wait for that candle to close, or would you consider entering while that candle's
I will wait for
forming
the
as you
candle
see
to
it
close. But
reject?
the benefit of that is my SL immediately I get a better and new SL. The like
Gotcha. So
when
you
that
still are going
happens,
to wait for the
yeah,
close, though. You're still waiting for the
yeah,
close on
yeah.
that.
If I'm entering here, my SL would go around here or here if I'm entering here. But if I'm entering on the retest and like let's say closing around this level, but I have a new higher low now, you know. So if I
Yes.
have a new higher low, it gives me like another like SL opportunity.
Okay,
So
perfect. Thank you.
the risk reward automatically goes to the levels I want.
So there's really no circumstances, ideally, if you're following your rules, where you would enter before the candle closes.
Ideally, I will never want to enter before the candle closes. That's for sure. But
Okay, thank you.
I'm not that successful in doing that. But yeah, ideally, I don't want to do that.
Okay. Hey, I have to sign off
Hmm.
here. So let's pick this up tomorrow at 9:20, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, It was nice talking to you guys. Let's continue tomorrow.
Yeah, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you. And
Yeah,
I'll send you the Zoom link later today.
yeah. Thank you for setting this up, man. I appreciate
Okay,
it.
cool. Yeah, we'll talk soon.
Okay.